In this video we're going to cover APCs, tanks, and artillery from the RHS content pack update. So the first vehicle we have, the most basic, is the BTR-60. This thing has a crew of 3, a driver, gunner, and commander, and it can carry 7 passengers, so a total of 10 people can be inside this bitch. When you're in the driver's seat, you have a nice, not picture-in-picture view from a good number of angles, and then you have your regular driver's slit. There's no night vision in this. You can also close the shield, which covers up that big hole in the front there. If you switch to commander, you know you have an optic. It's not very good zoom, and the range table doesn't actually work properly, so there's not much use for it other than you can traverse faster than the turret for spotting close enemies. When I switch to the gunner seat, it's a pretty simple range table. I can see that that's around 500 meters away, so if I start firing at it with the KPVT, I'll just aim where that line is on it, and you can see I'm hitting it. And if I want to do that with the PKT, line it up, and you can see I'm also hitting it. So it's a pretty shit rangefinder, but in a pinch it'll get the job done. Generally you're just going to walk your tracers in anyways. It takes a bit too long with your shit zoom on this thing. But the KPVT and the PKT are both good against infantry. The KPVT can actually be used to damage and destroy lighter armored targets. You're going to have to unload pretty much all your ammunition to get something like a T-80 though. Now if I were to go into the passenger seat, you have, as said before, you have 7 slots, 6 in the back there, 1 up here, the rest is for the crew. And you have a nice in-vehicle view, so it looks pretty good. So the driver view of the BTR-70 is a little bit nicer. You have, unfortunately, the PIPs, which I suppose in a sense makes it less nice, but you have better visibility out the front hatch there. If necessary, you can again close the shield, and then you just are operating with the PIP. You can also open the left and right hatches here. What that does is, you see in the back there, can't see on that one, but you have a hatch over there. If I were to close the right hatch, that's going to close up. You view out the top port there, so if you actually want to view it with your right click, you have to close the shield, and now you have a non-PIP view out the top there. Alright, swapping over to the commander seat again, you have that shitty rangefinder that doesn't work. There's no zoom on it. Switching over to the gunner seat, same range table as the 60. And if you are a passenger in this, you have an interior view. The BTR-70 only has 3 crew, 8 slots, so you can have 8 passengers in the back here. Moving over to the BTR-80. Driver, you have a similar view to the 70. You have your PIP view slots, and then you have your non-PIP large view port. Again, you can open and close the shield. This allows you to view at the top. And you'll note that you can transfer spare wheels. So the BTR-80, in fact, let's show you this. Fire it, pop the tire there. I'll get an action, either you saw it on the menu there when I was outside, or I can do it if I'm on the inside. It'll automatically let me hop out and replace the wheel. And this takes a few seconds, so it's not something you can do if you're getting shot at, really. But this means you don't have to use the AGM spare wheel until you run out of spare wheels in the base vehicle. So that's going to be pretty helpful for the way we run things, where we're constantly getting our vehicles de-wheeled. There we go, wheel replaced. Back in the driver we go. Going to the commander seat, you're actually just a co-driver, really. You once again have the shit rangefinder. Can't zoom or anything, no night vision. But you can see out the viewports here a little bit nicer. So the BTR-80's gun has an adjustable elevation range table, which is nice. However, it does not have a reference table, so you have to figure out what the range is more or less by walking your tracers in or by having someone else arrange it for you. So we know that this is about 500 meters. So I can see that. And say if I wanted to figure out what this was, I would just walk my tracers in. So they're firing a little bit low. Looks about right. You'll note that the BTR-80 actually does have night vision and 2 zoom levels, so that's helpful. That's an upgrade from the other BTRs which do not have that. Switching over to the passenger seat. Again, you have an interior view. You have your 6 slots plus a 7th and 8th. So 3 crew and 8 passengers for the BTR-80. The BTR-80A is the same chassis and hull as the BTR-80, however it has a new gun, so I'm not going to cover the commander or the driver. We're just going to go to the gunner. It now is equipped with a 30mm autocannon. This is the big upgrade for the BTR class. It also has a proper fire control system, aka range table. So I can now reference targets and I can engage them effectively with my various types of ammo. So from left to right you see the BP there is actually AP. The O53 is actually HE, and the PKT, or it looks like an N, that's the PKT as you might imagine. So those are the various rangings for them. Now this bitch is about 400 or 500 away. So when I have this on like that, I engage the target. Got good hits. Now the 30mm autocannon has 2 levels of fire. I have my rapid fire there, and I have a little bit steadier. This is more accurate. This gets the job done at close range. And then you have your PKT. See, that's hitting right about there. You switch to AP if you want. That's what this is. You'll use the range table on the left for that. For HE, you're going to use that O53 range table, the 1 second from the right. And for your MG, your PKT, you're just going to use that one all the way on the right. You load it just like you do a tank, HE, AP, when you have the autocannon selected. Now the BTR-80A, even though it has the new, very large gun, it seats 8 passengers still, and crews 3. The next vehicle is the T-72. I've done a video on the RDS version of this. The RHS is pretty similar. Your viewports are a little different. The commander has night vision. Once again, it's a shit rangefinder, doesn't work. The gunner system is identical. Those of you who don't remember, you have the fire control system selected. Fire, select the ammunition type you want, place the red ring on your target, press T to range find, and now I can just fire, and that's a direct target. SPKT. The difference with this one is it now has anti-tank missiles that fire from the barrel. So if I load this bitch up, you don't need to range to target since it's a TOW launcher, it's wire guided. And then I'm going to want to make sure I don't hit the ground with it, so like that. It's a good hit on target. It does decent damage, as you can see. Blew it up after that first turret hit. One cool thing you do have now is searchlights, so for this nighttime you have a pretty big spread of light there. Unfortunately the commander no longer has the access to the dishcam on the back for whatever reason. Hopefully that'll get patched in. it's just sitting there doing fucking nothing. It's kind of stupid. Alright, the new tank class that we have is the T80. This is a driver view. You can turn out. Kind of similar to turning out in a T72. Commander seat. Once again, shit rangefinder. You have night vision. You have this viewport. Switching to the gunner seat. The T80 variant is the same as the T72 in terms of the fire control system. You also have your little manual rangefinder, which actually works now. There's three types of ammo for this: the AP, heat, and HE. You do not have the anti-tank missiles in the T80 regular. I have a PKT, and that's it. Next vehicle is the T80A. Enter in the driver's seat. Same shit. Commander seat is a bit different. You now have a 50 cal that you can control in the interior of the vehicle. Operates on the Crow system like all the modern vehicles do in Arma 3. You have a range table as well as night vision, and you have the ability to laser range find from here. So aiming at that dome, it's 550 meters away. Now I can engage it using the proper ranging. Switch to the gunner seat. You now also have a laser rangefinder. Range table is effective, but it's easier to just press T at the target you're looking at, 548. You also have a viewport and night vision. So I'll go ahead and fire, get hit, and that light will pop green again when I'm ready to fire. There it is. Something that's interesting about the T80A and onward variants is that you can use B, your binoculars key, to open up the manual adjustment panel. So you can't use page up, page down to adjust your range. You have to use the manual thing. So I have it turned on here, on by default. Say I wanted to range for like 1,000 meters out. I'd click that, maybe 1,400, maybe even 1,450. So this has me ranged for 1,450 meters. So it'll automatically adjust once I exit out of it. And now I can hit shit way far away, like, I don't know, let's say, this looks pretty far. Yeah, sure, we hit it, whatever. You got 4 types of ammo for the T80A. You have AP, heat, HE, your regular armament, and then you have the tow launcher, anti-tank missile. Again, it is barrel launched. Another thing you have is the ability to change what type of ammo you load next once you fire. So, right now I have AP loaded. However, without reloading this, what I can do is press X, and you see in the top right there that is that dial that's switching between the various ammo types. Let's say I want to load HE next. I will fire my AP at this dome here, and now I have HE loaded for my next round. Say I wanted to load heat after this HE round, switch it to K. Switch it to K using X. Adjust my fire control again. I have heat loaded now. And to get hit. So now we can load our tow missile with Y. And fire that bitch off. Oh. Well, I suck, but you get the idea. That vertical line with the 4 horizontal lines next to it is your ranger for, or rather your reticle for the tow missile. Now, one cool thing that the T80A can do is install a snorkel. So if I select this option, I'm going to do Something similar to changing the wheels on those APCs earlier. They fiddling around with the tank up here for a few seconds. Again, you probably don't want to do this if you're getting shot. The animation's finished. The tank has a snorkel, so you can go underwater up to 5 meters. So if I'm crossing a river or the shallow end of a lake, I can do that without drowning. Still, you want to make sure your hatches are closed, and you cannot install the snorkel if the engine is on or there are hatches open, or if the vehicle is damaged. You can do this on all the T80 variants, the T80B, the BV, BVK. This is just the T80B. You do not have your effective rangefinder anymore, nor do you have good night vision. You just have a regular bullshit right here. Not a very good zoom. Still have the 50 though, and when you turn out, you can use it outside now. You got a pretty nice optic. Has night vision. Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird, but it has it. You can zoom out a bit too. In the gunner seat, you now have a more complex laser rangefinder. Again, you still have your manual rangefinder, or rather manual input system, as well as using X to switch between next loaded ammo. Again, O stands for HE, this B stands for AP, heat, and your tow missile. So I can zoom and get the viewport. Now you get night vision. Let's go ahead and range for this. 0.543 meters. Let it do its thing and fire. There you go. Gunner also has control over the smoke screens, and that'll just do it in front of the vehicle. It doesn't do it behind. Next we have the BK variant. Commander seat once again, same as the regular B. Switching to the gunner. Same range table, same manual, and you have your same auto load. So there's really nothing different about this one. Same ammunition types, all that jazz. T80U, you cannot install a snorkel on this. Commander seat has the laser rangefinder and the range table, night vision. When you turn out, you do not have access to a gun. Even though there's a dish from there, you don't get it. Get fucked. Switching to the gunner seat, you have the complex fire control system once again. Laser range finding. You change your various types of ammo. Loading HE now. Still do your manual fire control system there. That's about all there is to that. Still have your 4 types of ammunition, and of course all these vehicles are equipped with PKT. Now, a new addition to the tank class brought in with RHS is the 2S25. This is a tank destroyer. So for those of you who don't know what that means, it's not an infantry support vehicle. It is meant solely for killing tanks. It's generally faster than tanks, and it has a pretty hefty gun for its size. Turning out pretty similar to the T80s. You can lower the suspension and raise it, which, as you can see, alters your elevation. Switching to the commander, you have access to smoke. You can manually laser range find. If you turn out, pretty good visibility. You don't get a cord or anything like that. Switching to the gunner seat, you don't have an adjustable range table, so you have to do it based on your shot type. So you have AP, the tow missile, you got heat, and you've got HE. So you use the manual range table, or easier, you can just use the rangefinder. Use the big crosshairs there as your crosshairs. Line it up and fire. This one does not use the X autoload system. However, you still can do manual inputs. Final vehicle we're going to cover in this video, the 2S 3M1. It's an artillery piece. Driver can turn out. Commander has the shit rangefinder. It doesn't work. He also has this, and this is for using the PKT. Swapping over to the gunner seat. That box in the top right there, that is your barrel angle. Now you can use this for direct fire missions. So the two types of fire that a mortar piece like this can do is direct fire and indirect fire. Direct fire is where you can see the target and it is not behind something like a hill or a big building, something like that you can't shoot down. Indirect fire is where you can't see it. Generally requires a spotter to find the target for you, and then you walk your ammunition or you have an artillery computer and cheat it in. However, with this, if I have a direct fire mission, say there's shit coming over the hill there, I can press my lock-on key, find it. It'll give me the angle I need to be. It'll give me the range target, and it'll give me the correction. That's the one below the one that's currently changing. So I'm going to switch my barrel using page up, page down, my barrel angle to 5612, and then I'm going to fire. And there you go. That's how you direct fire. If you do it on really close shit, it's not going to give you a range. It's not going to give you a correction, even if it'll give you the range. So when you're firing on stuff, I don't know what the threshold is, but it's generally only going to work for stuff that's pretty far away. You can use shift page up, page down for incremental measurements, or rather incremental angle changes. And of course it is equipped with the artillery computer. You have 5 types of ammunition. You have HE, white phosphorus, you have smoke, you have laser guided, and you have illumination. So white phosphorus is used for marking targets. Smoke, it's just smoke. It's a big ass smoke show. Illumination is flare, so that'll light up an area for a few seconds. Laser guided means if there's a laser designator on the ground, as long as you shoot within a few meters of it, you will hit that target. And then HE is just your HE. So that's it. That's your APCs, your tanks, and your self-propelled artillery. Hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.